Okay, let's look at today lesson 8 and lesson 9, starting on page 949. We are going to work on finding volume today of prisms, so of 3D figures. And today we're going to work with rectangular prisms or cubes. So it says volume is the amount of space inside a three-dimensional figure. Centimeter cubes can help us find volume of a prism. So here we have a Rubik's Cube, but centimeter cubes are those little cubes that make up a Rubik's Cube. So it says use centimeter cubes to build 4 different rectangular prisms. Complete the 4th and 5th columns of the table below for each prism. So if we have prism A that has a length, width, and height given, length is 1, so we go 1 across. Width, we're going to go two cubes back. So here's 1 cube. We're going to go 2 cubes back, and we're going to make it just 1 high. Okay, so let me see if I can draw it. We're not going to pull out the cubes today. Okay, and then it was 2 cubes deep. So that's kind of a bad picture, but 2 deep, 1 high. Okay. All right. Then it says, how many cubes did we use? Well, we put 2 side by side. So the volume of this, we're going to find the volume. The volume would be in cubic centimeters. So if we have length is 1, width is 2 deep, and height is 1, 1 times 2 times 1. 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 1 is 2. So we use 2 cubes, and that volume would be 2. Okay, if we have a length and of 2 and a width of 2 and a height of 1, now that's like we're just doubling the row here, right? To make 2 cubes wide by 2 cubes. Okay, so let's see here. Can I halfway draw this? So now we have 2 by 2 by 1 high. So we've used 4 cubes altogether, and our volume would be 4 because we have 2 times 2, length times width times height equals our volume. Okay, so length times width times height equals volume. And our volume would be 4. We're using 4 cubes for that. If we have a length of 3, a width of 2, and a height of 2, so now we're going to go 3 across, okay, the whole way. Still 2 deep, okay. But now, instead of 1 high, we're going to put another stack on it. So we're going to go 3 by 2 by 2 high. So that would mean we would need 6 cubes on the bottom and 6 cubes on the top, so 12 cubes, okay? And then the volume would also be 12, because 3 times 2 is 6, times 2, is 12. If we would take another one and we would go 4 wide by 2 deep by 2 height, 4 by 2 by 2, now we would need, so we would have 4 cubes across 2 deep, so 8 on the bottom, 8 on the top, that's 16, and we would have a volume of 16 because 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16. So a prism built from cubes has no gaps and no overlaps, so we just put them side by side by side. It says a cube with a side length of 1 unit is called a unit cube. A unit cube has a volume of 1 cubic unit, or notice we say 1 unit with the little 3 raised up. That means cubic unit or unit cubed. A cubic unit is a unit for measuring volume. So this is 1 cubic unit. This would be 2 cubic units, and this is 4 cubic units. 4 cubes, 2 cubes, 1 cube. If you use 12 centimeter cubes to build a rectangular prism, the prism would have a volume of 12 cubic centimeters, or 12 centimeters cubed to the little 3. Let's turn the page and take a look at this. Try it. It says, use centimeter cubes to build the rectangular prism shown. So it says, complete the table for each layer. Well, layer 1, the length is 4 across, the width is 3 deep, and the height is just 1 high. Okay, so 4 by 3 by 1. If we're multiplying there, we're going to use 12 cubes on the bottom row. So the volume is 12. The second layer, 4 by 3 by 1 again, we would use 12 cubes. Volume is 12. Third layer is identical. 4 times 3 times 1. 4 across, 3 wide, 1 high. 12 cubes, 12 is the volume. 12 cubic centimeters. Remember, that's cm cubed. The top layer, again, 4 by 3 by 1. 12 cubes, 12 is the volume. So how many cubes were used all together? Well, we would have to add this together, and we would get 2, 4, 6, 8. 1, 1, 1, 1 is 40. So 48 cubes. The volume, well, we would add together all the 12, so it would be 48 cubic centimeters. Okay? Or we could say 4 across by 3 high, 3 deep, length by width by the height of 4. So 4 times 3 is 12, 12 times 4 is 48. So we get the volume for length, width, and height, 48 centimeters cubed. Okay, and we can do that with any prism. Any cubes across, cubes deep, cubes high gives us volume. So let's take a look at lesson 9. Can you flip to page 955? Because now we want to take a look at how we find volume if we aren't given those cubes to build with. And it says volume is the amount of space inside a three-dimensional figure. You can use either formula below to find the volume of a prism. So volume is length times width times height. They made a cursive L instead of just a straight one. Helps us tell that it's not a number 1. Okay, so volume is V, capital V. Length is a lowercase l, width is a W, h is height. Now, a base, we could say the area of the base is length times width. So another way I'm going to write that is area equals length times width. Okay, so length times width is area. So volume is really area times height. The base times height. So length times width is our big B. That's for base. So base times height is volume. Okay. And it says common units of volume are cubic inches, cubic feet, cubic yards, cubic centimeters, and cubic meters. Example 1 says, on his family vacation to the beach, Armando filled a cooler with water and snacks. Find the volume of the cooler. So volume, length, width, height. So we have the volume, the length is 30, width 15 wide, height is 20. And we can multiply. Okay, now we have a few options for multiplying. We can use our mental math strategies if we want. We can flip the order of the numbers if we want, right? Okay, so let's take a look. Or we can just work on our turtle head math strategies too. So I'm going to flip-flop the order here, and I'm going to say 30 times 20. Okay, and get those two numbers out of the way, because I know 3 times 2 is 6, and I can tack on the 2 zeros to get 600. Then I just have to take 15 times 600, okay, or 600 times 15 will give me that volume. Okay, so if I do 600 times 15, well, 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 6 is 30. Collar, right? No band-aids, egg. Then 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 6 is 6. Add it together, and I get 9,000. So my volume is 9,000. I'm measuring inches, so I have inches cubed. Okay, inches to the third. Another way I can do it is just find the base and then multiply by the height. So the base in this case, so the base is 30 times 15, okay? So if I have 30 times 15, I'm going to take 30 times 15, again, turtle head math, 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 3 is 15, drop my 0, then I multiply 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 3 is 3, add it, and I have 450. Well, now I take my base, which is 450, times my height, which is 20. So I'm going to take 450 times 20, okay? 0 times 0 is 0, 0 times 5 is 0, 0 times 4 is 0, drop my 0, 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 5 is 10, 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9, add it together, and I still get 9,000. So the volume of the cooler is 9,000 cubic inches, okay? Let's take a look at a couple on page 957. So remember, here's our formulas. Length times width times height, okay, is volume. Or if they only give us the base, we take that times the height, okay? And remember, so base is equal to length times width because that's the area, okay? Area is the length and width of a two-dimensional object. When we add that height in there, then we get the three-dimensional volume, okay? So here, for this first object, we have length times width times height. So volume is 2 across by 4 deep by 3 high. Well, 2 times 4 is 8. 8 times 3 equals 24. So I'm going to have 24. My measuring unit is inches cubed. Excuse me. Now, let's take a look at another one. Look at number 4. Now we're measuring in centimeters. 26 by 12 by 3. So volume, in this case, is 26 times 12 times 3. You don't have to measure or multiply in that order, though. If I know 12 times 3 and I know the answer for 12 times 3, I can multiply that first. And I know 12 times 3 is 36, so I could take 26 by 36. And if I do that and set up my turtle head math, right? 6 times 6 is 36. Regroup my 3. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 3 is 15. Collar, Band-Aid, egg. 3 times 6, let me just refocus. Let's see if that works a little bit better. Sorry, it's a little fuzzy. 3 times 6 is 18. Put my 8 down, regroup my 1 above the 2. 3 times 2 plus 1 is 7. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Add it together. 6 plus 0 is 6. 5 plus 8 is 13. 1 plus 1 is 2. Plus 7 is 9. My volume is 936. My label, centimeters cubed, because it's a volume. Okay. Then, let's take a look down at number 7. Number 7, notice how they give me the base of 108 centimeters squared. Well, that's length and width, right? So that's already equal to the length times width. And then they give me the height of 9. So if I have the base as the length times the width, I can take base times height to find the volume. So volume can be my base times my height. So in this case, I can take 108 times 9 to find my volume. So let's take 108 times 9. 8 times 9 is 72. Regroup my 7. 9 times 0 is 0, plus 7 is 7. 9 times 1 is 9. So my volume is 972. My unit is centimeters, And now it's a volume, which means it's cubed. It's three-dimensional. I always remember that when I'm finding volume, it's length, width, height, 3 dimensions. So my centimeters has to be cubed, telling me it's a volume. Okay, let's try number 8 as well, because again, we have a base with a height. So its volume is my base times my height. In this case, it's 90 times 11 to get my volume. Hey, I have some mental math strategies I can use here, because 9 times 11 is 99. And I can take that 0 and tack it on to get 990 feet cubed, or cubic feet. Now, if you didn't know 9 times 11 was 999, and then tack on that 0, then you're going to want to do the turtle head math, okay? You're going to want to say 90 times 11. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 9 is 9. Drop my 0. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 9 is 9. And add it together, and I still get 990, okay? What I want you to do today is I want you to try a couple volume problems. So on the My Homework page, on page 959, I want you to do, you can do number 1 and 2. Okay, so do numbers 1 and 2. And that shouldn't be too difficult. Just remember right here, volume is length times width, right? So volume is length times width times height. Volume is also base times height. 2 important formulas to remember for volume. Okay, use those formulas, as we check out numbers 1 and 2. Okay.